quantum shift through eternity through that. I described it a little bit in the other one. I don't know why it's coming out in like backwards, upside down layers, but and I know it's all scribbles because I can't erase. But if this didn't mess up, you can see what I'm drawing. That's some super encryption. It's like you're just scribbling over scribbles, and you have to trace it in your head and see what the shape is. Whatever. Um, but yeah, just do that. Was not animal. And after the experiments, you got human animal. Or that, whichever way. And so, the animal side evolves, while the human side does not. Thus, you have the split mind, if you will. And every so many years, when that, they look like balls, when that comes back around, we experience basically a mass insanity, if you will.
Alright, sound should be better. Should have turned off the auto adjust. This is like one go because the screen mushes up. Sorry. Oops. I just wanted to talk about something basic. I need to go back and make sure this sounds good this time. I'm gonna have to adjust the audio anyway for noise. What's it called? The hiss or whatever. So, okay. I just want to do a simple one. I guess I need to clean that part off, but so how can I start it? So you could say, let me do it this way. Oopsies. Soul is your house. Eternal is relative, but it's your eternal house. So I don't know if that'll come up. Not really. I shouldn't use. Sorry, damn it. I really do that now. So for lack of better visual interpretation. Okay. And so this is basically, that's your house. It's hard to comprehend. Hard to comprehend. I just woke up. But the physical interpretation of that, it's hard to comprehend without cloning or extended science or biological experimentation to more or less people are kind of trying to control that and be the one that controls that, but using tech. And so then that route isn't really the route that's that view isn't really the view to be encouraged. However, if you look at that or science fiction or the experiments, cloning stuff going on, you'll understand how it is in the sense that you have, that's the house to, I hate drawing like this, but all your physical forms, and you only have one, but there's obviously, these are like the smiley faces. That's a demon. It literally doesn't exist in nature, and it does exist in other nature, which is a pure emotional embodiment and animus, spirit. But if it's not in a human, if it's not from the rightful creation, then it's alternative or demonic and weird. Just imagine that the smiley faces or the Pac-Man when they get angry, and it's like, okay, well, that's what you would find in a certain situation. I don't know. That's my drawing level. But there's only one of you here, physical, at least to you. You can't make use of more than that other than by being how you are to you, to everyone else. Or for the most part, in an inverse square, we'll say, the more assholes they are and harmful it is for you to be nice to them, then the further away that is. But the less dangerous that is for you, then there's no reason to take advantage of people and things like that unless you want to go to war. But again, the point is, we learn through, and I said this in multiple videos and writings, and I also took a kind of run for my life, and stopped. They don't fit anymore. And the, what's it called? Made for my mind. We work through cooperation, and animals operate through competition. It's clever. It's real clever to say, we don't have to look at it that way. We can say, well, we can be like animals too, and we can work through competition. It's a farce. Human competition for progress is a farce. Not necessarily a fallacy, but where you've seen that work, all the produce, the gold, the spiritual fruit, they were stolen from people, and then the people that made it never. So in this situation, all it means is that everyone's souls go to the devil. I know you might think that's fucking silly. No, it's a big dude, scaly, and he eats your souls, and he needs you to fight with each other so that you turn away from the cooperative values that are the enabling of human principle, the principles that enable human eternal existence. Because I don't know, it doesn't work any other way. Okay, so then, whenever we were doing this, whatever this is, or could we do that? Could we do this? It's a physical thing, so it's like a clock where you have, and not really a clock, but like a pie, and you have variations. Say I didn't draw those extra ones. Because you really only have a specific amount of variation. Let's see how well this works. Oh, needs the, what's it called? Little spray I got. This board got fried up, so the oily coating is gone. So it doesn't erase much. And of course the paper towels are over there. I'll make my own eraser. I know this is all jumbled. Alright, you go over there. This is all jumbled. Alright. No more stained carpets. Sorry. I'm trying to clean the carpet. I was gonna try and wrap it around it and make a thing, but that just backfired. Alright, what am I doing? Alright, I just gotta go to your little stain. Great invention. You get variation. So it's the introduction of numerical variation, whereas this is 1-to-1, or maybe 1-to-1. This experiences the max, and maybe the minimum as well, every single time. Here, with each one of these little cores that are made, it could be anything. It doesn't mean, it's actually more so, this could be like a life. It's a life cycle. That's time. Nothing, that doesn't exist. But these kind of waves that coalesce, just like the previous video, and when all your frequencies, it's not numerical, it's just little here and then max there. There's no numbers though. When that's created properly, all your frequencies are, mapped in there, it's completed. And we'll call that a completion. But that doesn't have to happen all at once. Say somebody's born there, because again, it's not a clock, so it's like maybe there, and then you go out with time, you see, and you add layer by layer until you're a full jawbreaker. But it doesn't happen all at once, but then again, it does, because it's all one moment. You know, in it, you're like, well, no, this roller coaster is here, and then it goes up to the loop. It's all one track, it's all one thing. And if you could see it as it is, it happened in the same single moment comparatively to something larger. But in the same sense, that single moment is to something larger. This is an eternal moment to something happening in a smaller domain, inside the womb or something like that. But in the same sense, being in the womb for 6 to 9 months might quite literally be like, you know, depending on how you get, although we know how it's viewed, it's just they're not formed there. They're still there though. But you know, are they in the room or around in the sphere in mom or in heaven or something like that before that? And so that could be our visions of, like, you know, somebody sleeping and then having this dream. There could be eons in the womb of experiences of, like, fairy tale style existences that are taking place within months. And we thought it was like, oh, back generations ago, back when I accessed my ancestral memory and stuff. So time is not linear in that sense, and we know that. But how do we connect that to these very seemingly linear bodies, and then the system we're in now, and realize competition is the absolute, you know, epitome of linearity. It's one to one, then that goes down to the next one. It's always eating something like Fibonacci, that daisy death thing. Whereas cooperation is always one to one and then exponent. It creates more multiplies based upon what was in there. Not taking away from one, giving to the other. That's a farce. And you don't see that anywhere, and except for a fallen system that is doomed. And I don't mean to say that lightly, or with any type of humor, or too much heaviness. It's just physics. We use up all our energy. Well, guess what? Your soul is made of energy. Your soul is going to dim. That's your life core. It doesn't mean, well, I'll just walk around without a soul. It means your life will degrade like dust crumbling in the wind, or something crumbling into dust in the wind. And so we obviously wouldn't want that. But then you have to observe and acknowledge and respect these principles to maintain them, because they're what sustains us, or at least in this energy shifting, semi-biological, technological system, we have to manage and operate within the within set parameters that allow us to conserve and continue, to put it simply. You could also say, in this energy place, if we don't observe those principles, we'll end up moving out of that track of possibilities, if you will, out of this kind of eternal, continuous, I have to burp. It's a non-linear, so it's like a non-linear, I can't think of the word, wavy and expressive that way, versus the linear Fibonacci always losing energy. Basically with the Fibonacci or the competition or linear structure, every time you get to a certain point, you have to lose something that you gained from the last point. You can't roll over. And so that system can never match that. And this can never fit into that, period. And there you have the big interplay that we've been kind of screwed over, because then, well, why are we doing that? Well, they made this look real good. I'm telling you, it doesn't look real good. All the stuff, all the little gifts, those on top and the whatever, they stole from children and children of someone else. That's just how it is. And if you don't know, you can't observe or see that yet, then you just take your time. It's weird, but that's how some people made themselves to be, pretty much. And that's the basis of it. We didn't just go along. They tricked everybody, and they tricked them through some basic principles, switching around like that. But we have to know how they trick. We have to know what could be otherwise. I have to pause and get a drink. Not pause because I'm not trying to break the video game. And so this is more or less, let me get back, okay, so, and then time, completion, so wherever we are in the physical, it perceptually maps out to possibly the growth of one of these layers. I can't think of the word, but it's a continuous membrane structure that interacts with one another equally, and as long as one's there, the next one can be there, and then they continue. I can't think of the word. It's a different type of structure, different type of math, a different type of generation of, I guess, continuity or organization of information within itself. It's self-reflective, put it that way. It's a self-reflective fractal, whereas the code, it can mimic a self-reflective fractal, but it cannot actually fully contain it. You can't contain it with numbers. The computer would explode. You need a computer the size of the Earth, and then once you get that and the next one up, because it continues life, creation of life, the creator, it is always more than what you can encapsulate. And so then now you need one the size of the universe, one size of the galaxy. And they kept doing it and kept doing it, but it just made beings come that were smarter than them, that don't need computers to do it, and now they're stuck with those things. But that's what they made for themselves. And then most of the children got put inside those beings and are trapped in a alien hell. But again, competition. Good shit, right? No. Because they were competing to see who's gonna get there first. What race is gonna have the power of fucking eating all the kids? So no, competition leads to that for them. Now again, if you want to allow these teachers, I don't know why he has like a kiln or something. You want to get these teachers that have been here forever being slaughtered over and over again, and apparently they don't die, so you have to slaughter them thousands of times just to keep them out of society. You just literally just like, 8 o'clock, 12, and that's how you stop them from being here, because God just keeps putting them back when they stop doing that. So they literally devised a plan where 24/7 they'll murder children. And so if you do that, you get kicked out of your house. They're homeless. They don't have a home. They're inside the fractal brain of the children, taking their shitty fractal brain, shoving it in there like they're raping them, and blowing their heads up, and then trying to follow their souls back to the divine. And they get to this gate, and they get found out because the children's souls look like a child, baby, whatever you want to call it. Oh, God, Father. And then these guys show up in suits just like, well, where's the food? Where's the gold? Where's the money? And God literally goes, my children, who the fuck are you? And he sent them back to see what they're going to do, and they tried it again. So apparently they're going to stay homeless forever. It means they turn into bugs and insects and fucking lizards and all this stupid shit. I get pissed off when I start talking about it. But it's the logic behind it, or the reason. So we have, this doesn't change. Eternity is the concept of this to that. You have the physical experience, but this is always there. It's actually already completed. You're just adding up your physical experience until you can acknowledge that you're already completed. The already completed thing is the soul that's always there. As long as we have a physical experience, the linearity, you always have that. You can have this without that, but you can't have that without this. So eternity is whenever we're in this place of energy that basically exists within the outer membranes of the physical universe that we see, kind of like maybe microwaves or something higher, and it's always there. It's just information. And then to have this, maybe it's always there too, but it's not our process of creation. We sustain it. We didn't build it. I mean, that's obvious. For real. It's literally like, we did so much. It's like, but did you make your body? Do you know how to keep yourself from dying? Do you know how to channel, your emotions? Not like other things, but I'm saying, like, are you emotionally intelligent, or do you weep at night when you think about your life? Okay, that's not cool. You competed and got a bunch of dumb shit. It can fall on your head, and then you have nothing. Your house is empty. You might still have a soul. You might still have a house, but it's not adorned with not shiny things, but truth and compassion. Each other, pictures of your friends and family as their compassionate impression upon yourself merges with you, so you become part of one another, and your souls are adorned with each other. The feelings of life of each other. Imagine you go into your cosmic soul house, and it's not a cosmic thing, I don't know, whatever. And you look on the wall, and it's a picture of your previous linear, completed, membranous, whatever. And you look at it, oh, whatever, the time we did that, and it's beautiful, and it's a portal to go back into it. And you have an eternal system. And it's real each time too. You can change it, but you can't go off the track because it breaks it. But it doesn't mean it's just a replay. And it's like the same exact thing happens. The people who can't change do the same thing every time, and it's like, make it stop. If you're free flowing because nothing's controlling you other than what you are, it's an endless, eternal experience of what we're doing now with infinite potential. But that's the dynamic. I didn't really explain it well, really at all. I just made a bunch of scribbles and said the soul was there. But the idea is that the principles are what I'm supposed to talk about. So the soul is managed through the process of mapping out these. And that's done for us. We don't do that. Or it happens because of the energy you have and the entanglement and the possibilities based upon the variations you've done from there to there. And then it maps out the rest of your experience with a completion event that equals basically you back to yourself. Meaning you go one-to-one. Your soul starts, goes, nothing, I'm a baby. And it comes back to being knowing of everything and all, not powerful, but knowing. All knowing of yourself and all feeling. Knowledge could be feeling as well. Meaning there's no loss. It's a perfect, I just woke up, what is it called? It's not insulated. What's it called when you don't lose information? I'm doing the attenuation thing again. But it's perfectly one-to-one. You don't get any degradation of the signal unless you bleed off your energy in non-protected ways, which are like operating or enacting functions in your living system, kind of informational feeling soul computer system. It's not a computer or physical thing. It's anyway. It's like functions that then crash your system, and you have to close everything and restart the computer, and you lose some work. The more you do that, the more you're going to lose. And this always results in that. At the end, for 1, 2, 3, all through that, somebody lost. At the very end, almost everybody loses. So that's the idea behind that. But if you're willing to say, when we go back to this place, there's no holographic, crystalline, multi-dimensional light filament structure that our soul goes like a circuit, and you can go anywhere and do anything. You just go into a black void that sucks, and you cry the whole time. If they were okay with that, then that's why they're doing that. Literally. Why wouldn't you just live free and let everyone live free when it's all free? They wanted to enslave people, but which one is the enslavement membrane? Hold on, I gotta find it. It's gotta be there's no enslavement membrane, so they completed an empty void. That's what they got for themselves. It's an empty, that's the fruit. It's just a skin. You just look at it and then you suck the air out of it and then, oh well. So it means it has to equal that, because the big prize of taking from your holographic soul thing, putting it into the foundational core and extending from that like rays of light variations in linear experience would just equal, okay, everybody dies again. Okay, yeah, and then enslavement thing, okay, we tried again. Yep, everybody died. Oh, you want to be enslaving and ruler, rapist, whatever? Okay. Oh, yep, everybody dies. Yep, the whole universe dies every time you want that. It never adds up to everything, because imagine if doing this means you add up to the same level of everyone, where everyone is basically at the high. And you can even see this place like a gift and a test. Because clearly, if you're creating your own divinity, you're not in the sense that you're like making things up, but if you're earning your way back to the truth, and people who don't want to go with that are clearly screwed. And if there's no other way to do it other than stealing it for a time and then dissolving, it looks much like a test or some type of, even a gate system, if you will, that people thinking physical terms can't comprehend. They think they're like, what do you mean? It's a gate. Open up. No, it's a time gate. You have to synchronize your feelings and your emotions, and the only way you can do that, or your intellect, the only way you can do that is by walking along that path of creation. Which means you're guided the whole way and you're not getting what you want just because you want it. You're getting what you want because you need that, and you're aligning what you want with what you need. Like I said before in the other one. After it all went wonky. Willy Wonka style. It really was Willy Wonka style. It was like that trip in the tunnel, which is a metaphor for something, obviously, which is hilarious that it happened. Anyway, which one's Willy Wonka? And so we can, I'm trying to describe this and hopefully somebody will get it. It's like, not signal flow, but it's like computing where you have an auxiliary system or a virtual system that goes back to the a foundational system. I can't think of any of the words, but it's literally it's like a living mechanical, computer system. But it's not a computer system. It's living information that then, when it's in this space, which can hold information because that's what it is, if it was going to go just disappear into non-space space, it has to be there somewhere. It only works this way. You can't get it to fan out and make stuff. You can't get it to do different things. You can't get this to bridge that system using the creation system and create timelines, dimensions of space and worlds without observing that. That's how it works, is what I'm saying. It's not like, but if you really want to have fun, you got to do this. It doesn't work that way. This is how it works. So we have to equal ourselves and go back to where we came from. Meaning what you came in here wanting is what you have to go out wanting. Nothing, in a way. Because it's not real. And if you did it the right way, you'd have everything and you'd want nothing. That's the point where you'd want what you have. It cancels out. Because in that, let's say a bunch of waved lines, in that is every feeling, every emotion, every intellectual conclusion that you could ever have, that you could ever have, and then that you did ever have. So as long as you have that and it's completed, because you went through the thing this is and made the right choices, that can go back into here, and imagine that this is then turns into well, it's not going to show up, but it turns into a dot, and then you can take this dot and twist it through the dimensions and expand it out, and it's a life and a timeline and a world, and you can experience them, and they're pretty much like a sea of them. And then imagine that's actually what it is before Earth. After Earth, when you do that, you do it once, and the Creator maximizes you, and then you end up with a string of them, or like yarn. Yarn is made into a soul garment, and then you can wear that soul garment, and and at that point, if all this information condenses, coalesces, that's not how you draw a shirt, and it would be more like a tunic, because it covers you. And so, I don't know why he has mountainous neck muscles. Maybe he rock climbs. Is that even on camera? Just telling me I don't have internet. I know I don't have internet. I do, but I have to set it up. And so you then, well, I thought that was me. How are you going to take me? That's just the information that represents you for now. Well, what does that mean? That you're more eternal than eternal. But that's not really eternal. All this information is just a particle, just a piece of somebody's computer system. It's not a computer system, it's a mind. We use computers to understand it. If we didn't grow up stupid, our minds would understand it. And that's the truth. The other people, the other places that didn't have to do it that way, you ask them all this stuff, and we're typing in computers, and we have these big systems breaking it down. It looks like Dante's Inferno, collecting information into what we can comprehend, and they just do it with their head and say, well, that's the answer. Because it's all intuitive to them, because they didn't fucking go competition crazy and get all this homelessness. Well, now they have to dissolve, or they don't comprehend themselves, and they're just like, make it stop. No, they didn't do that. And so then all this shit that took us thousands of years, they just look at it and go, oh, you're talking about this? Oh, wow. And then have you learned that? And it's like, what? You're 14. How do you know that? They're built with the knowledge. We cast that away. That's our punishment. We're in darkness. If we stay that way, we go into literal darkness. Meaning the darkness. So you have an interplay. Your mind and then your body. Your mind becomes your body. Now you're wearing your stuff. But I thought that, well, that's how it works. And so now your mind is the next layer up. It's something so far removed, so much more eternal than eternal timelines of human existence across thousands of years of space and time. And that just becomes a pixel in your mind. And you walk around with that as a brain or mind, doing other things now in a world where that's possible, where this world is just a pixel in that world. In other words, the universe is going 1 to 1 upgrade. It's actually supposed to be like, that's not the right one. The end is 1 to 1. Right now we're at like 1 to something. You have so much information, it takes you years to even get to one part of it, and then you're just a fraction of someone in that world. I'm just a professor of this and that and the other. The next world, everyone knows everything. All the knowledge of this world will be kept in one mind of anybody in the next world. And it moves up, the whole universe advances. So in the next world, your soul is what your mind will be, what you're wearing. Your soul contains all the information of it's the foundation of every physical time space that you've existed in, and therefore it's like a recording of your emotional, intellectual capacity or track record. And really it's not a competition track record, it's literally how high did you get within this capacity of how high you wanted to go. That's it. There's no like, oh, and then this person, it doesn't even exist on that level. Everything's a circle, if you will. So if it's like, what, you competed, meaning, well, you're above him or her, or this, that, well, that means it's broken. You're a circle. How are you above a part? That doesn't work. It's going to wobble and break apart. It's moving at the speed of light, or faster than the speed of light. So it's literally, well, now we're breaking it down. This is the only way to not respect human life, to not respect the creationary principles, and to not go back into wholeness. The only way is to fall into competition, a spirit of competition, and to use that as a dominating force for life, to control who goes where and who goes what. You can go play in the gym, or in the field, or in the classroom, even competing, but at that point it's not competing, because when you all go back and you eat the same food, you get the same opportunities. You're not going to put somebody who doesn't know anything to do the highest stuff, but when you all have the same opportunities, and it's not just a farce of like, yeah, you try hard, you'll get as much money as the people who eat people. No, you won't, because you have to eat people. And so in that sense, they screwed that system. They turned it against God, which can only mean their soul. They have to figure out how to get back to wholeness while eating themselves. This is like figuring out how to finish a marathon while chewing your fingers and your toes off. Good job, guys. It makes me mad too. I didn't even do it. And so, so that's kind of like what I'm trying to explain, that it's a farce, it's illogical. Biologically, we're designed to do differently. Life functions differently. There is no such thing as it goes this way, it goes that way, everything blows up, and then we profit off. No, it doesn't. That's called destruction. It's one long destruction. One long spiritual war and physical war against humanity. And what do you mean physical war? People have been hurt. Millions of people have been sent to war. Millions of people are dying right now. Millions of people have been maimed. Yeah, but that happens all the time. That's the shit I'm talking about. It doesn't happen anywhere other than when we have that. Because the truth is, the people that are doing that are getting paid to do it. But it's accidentally. It's malpractice. It's, protecting your blah, blah, blah. It's this, that, and the other. Unless you've got from there, because that's the ones here, and that's the one that was the people in the supposed GOV that were doing that, were in contact with that and said, no, we're going to do this. So it's always going to come back to that, because they found that as the gold and then said, let's do what we want. So why did this happen? But it's not that bad, dude. Just people making money. And these people, you just ask them. So people making all the money and doing all that, why'd you do it? We found the soul code for God. We found Christ and God. We put them in a cube and baby form and then slaughtered them so we could have all the power. That's why you listen to us. What? Yeah, that's why you're going to war. That's why you're trying to make all the money. That's why you're trying to do all that shit. It's all because of them. It was invented by them. Now, money itself and this, that, and the other, no. But doing it in that sense that we're trying to do it now, where it's more powerful and more... If it's not more powerful than your soul, then why does it hurt your soul to do it? So that's what it is. But you can't look at it like the world is that way, because it wasn't that way. You can't look at it like it's just better that way, because it's literally doesn't work any other way than not that way. Or excuse me, it doesn't work that way. Or maybe I said it right. A bunch of negatives. It's a farce, and we've been conditioned to believe that. But I don't want to. If you're out there going, it's a farce, man. I should be able to relax all day and do this. That's more of a farce, because that happened after we got to this, and before we had that, it was straight up Amish. It was straight up Amish. 15-year-old Amish kid could kick my ass. I'm just gonna say it. 15-year-old Amish kid has more muscle than me, and I've worked with them. And I've never seen it otherwise unless they were sick or something like that. And there's like one or two sick Amish people I've seen in the community, period. So it's like, that's how it would have been. And it doesn't mean we can't have the good things. Truth is, the tech that you use for this, and it's like it takes your mind off of the things, and you got, I don't know, drinks you want to drink, all that exists. You just don't know it. And this is a degraded version, and it's actually, well, but what do you mean? It could be better? Oh, you just want stuff too. This, I'm telling you, I'm golden. Because this computer system that you use to connect and blah, 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 they stole it from a fucking cosmic one that gives you everything all at once. And you can literally walk through. And it's Earth and other, planes. They literally took that and made that. And now you think that's addicting because life itself, the real, amusement park, the real journey, is forgotten. So no matter how far we go into this saying, everybody's a millionaire. Everybody has max power of this tech. Everybody can buy whatever they want and do whatever they want. It's forgotten. It's fallen. It will never equate and give you back to what it is because it started with a loss. So we got to go all the way back to that loss and see what's right. And I kind of went farther on a tangent, but the physical can always go into different variations, or it does go into different variations, and its spectrum of variation is based upon your soul completion. And so you hit a maximum resistance for this dimension or universe, physical experience, this story time experience, and then your soul is more or less completed, and from this, whatever you've done, it becomes a part in this larger expanse, and from that larger expanse, an entire new, you call it a universe, is created, but it's connected, because each one is inside the other. And, if this is one giant circle, I just remember that one, circle, holographic membrane, it's just a pinpoint in that large universe. And so there's never just like a close the door, that universe is gone. You're not connected to it. You go into this new domain and that game's going on, or it's not going on. It's shut down. The lights shut down. Everybody left the stadium. No, that game's going on and you can hear everybody cheering. Of course, competition, but put it this way, it's not competition. There's one player. So it's just cheering for one guy. They're not competing. It's 1-to-1 each time in the arena. So it's impossible to compete. You're competing against yourself. And even then, that's this plan. But that you can still hear the vibrations coming through the door. It's still going on. And in this world now, that world freezes, and in all of that time, thousands of years, you have within a few moments at the tip of that one, and you have a new dimension, a new eternity, a new universe, and it's based upon those principles. And that kind of acts like a generator for it. And it's physics, energy, consciousness, and time-space is mapped to always do that, so that this world generates the power for this world. Now this one's, we'll say, I drew it here, this one's locked in. Once it's maxed out, it's a holographic completion. Nothing can happen that can change it. It's solid in time. It's like a time crystal. It produces energy forever for the next universe. Hopefully nobody tells everybody to throw everything into shit. This one, and once this one is solidified in a holographic completion for the life of the consciousness, the one going in there, and this one, that's solidified and it provides energy for that one. You get where I'm going with this? Then you get that, and you get that. They're eternal systems that continue. We just have to stay on the path of energy conservation and so on. And it's simple, you don't have to, it's simple. It's made to be simple. It's made to be intuitive. What do you mean we have to build super time generators? No, we have to not steal each other's energy, because that's the energy that we're using consciously in our soul system, mapping, weaving energy together to make the next universe. It sounds absurd, but if we were bacteria and photons, you'd be like, yeah, my teacher told me that. Too bad. There's no such thing. You're in that, somebody made that. He spins it like a clock, or you do, and when you stop, it stops, it sinks, it freezes, it decays, and eventually it will die. Technically it can't die, it just becomes so frozen that this goes down in time and decay that it's this big. It's a scalar system. Scalar, it's all time, space, size, dimension, duration, and energy. And so this becomes a little frozen piece of dust. It throws a hitch in the system, and now this is delayed, and this is delayed, and this is delayed. And so then now these get delayed and get sagged out, and now you take some more energy, and it basically starts to fall out. It's like a balloon with the membrane, and the molecules no longer hold together tight enough for the air to be contained in. And that air is your soul, your mana. But it's really, this funny thing is, there's nothing there. It's just correlations and relations, entanglement between, cross-reference time spaces or time experiences in a human life that teach you about something and give you that spark and animate you to then make the next decisions and get better and better. That's it. And when you do that in the system, somebody contains it, seals it, that energy stays there forever, like a balloon full of radiation, or the energy of the sun. It becomes a sun, put it that way. When you put all that together, it becomes a sun. And then, yeah, maybe that makes sense now. So that's the sun. I'm a little, this is the second video in, I don't know how long. It's been a while. So I'm like happy to get a little amped up. And then this is going to be a nightmare to erase. I got to get a new board. I kind of just want to see what happens. Oh yeah, I was down for like half a week or something doing the erasing with my right. I was literally in agonizing pain, like never going to go back to drawing, you know? It hurt really bad. First thing we remove. Yeah, I need to get a new board because I'm not able to fully do it. Oh, this works at least, but then it takes forever. Yeah, so when in doubt, use Windex. Windex is a brand. That's glass cleaner. All right, maybe that makes sense. That was my back cracking. Thank you.